There's a wee bit of a wave today, so I thought I would come out and test the new John McLean Super Secret Trout Fly. Now, conditions are still far from perfect, and it's maybe just a size too big for what wave I do have, but I couldn't resist a day out, you know, when the chance presents itself. Now, I got the most horrendous rain on the way, on the way up here. First fished to the Super Secret John McLean Fly. I got horrendous rain on the way up here, so who knows what it'll be like. Come here. That was the first fish to the Super Secret John McLean Trout Fly. So, I don't know, it wasn't a very big fish, but then this loch doesn't make for big fish anyhow. So I could get the rain of doom while I'm here, unfortunately. And the wind's one of those kind of awkward winds where you don't quite know which side of the loch would be best. So it may be that I'll fish the whole way around, just to sort of try and catch the best of it on both banks, you know. So I have one of John's Connemara Blacks on the point, tied as a bob fly, and the Super Secret Trout Fly on the top. Oh, that was a wee pool as well. And we'll see how we go. Right, missed him. So John's Super Secret Fly has already landed one fish, and it looks like it has moved me another 2 or 3. And this bit of the loch, I usually start here, and usually there's nothing here. So that's impressive performance. So he could be right, it could contain some secret medicine. So I want to keep moving along fairly rapidly to get to the wee burn, because when I get to the wee burn, I'm going to make a cup of tea. And really, it's the cup of tea that's the most important part of the day, I think, because I've been a bit lacking in cups of tea the last few days, and this is causing me considerable distress, you know. So regardless of how good the Super Secret Fly is, my priority, I think, is to get the cup of tea. I've moved along another wee bit. Sound mightn't be great because I'm wearing so many layers of clothing. It's not cold, exactly the opposite, but it just looks like it might rain on me. And it keeps threatening. And because there have been some really big thundery showers, I thought, well, it's best to be ready, you know. And it's coming again. Oh, well, yes. So I'm kind of keep bouncing along just fairly quickly, in part because I want my tea. So that's what I'm aiming for really, is to get the wee burn to the spot where it's handy for making tea. I mean, I could make tea anywhere, but that seems to be my plan, you know. Just move along a wee step. This wee rocky bit of bank here looks like it should be really good. And really, I've never had much success off it. You know, as with anything over the years, you get to pick up the odd fish, but it's never been exactly what I would define as a good spot. So, again, I'll not spend too long here. Now we can unwrap again. Rain has stopped again. I've reached as far as the end of the wee point, and as you can see, it appears like the grass is well beat down. I don't know if you can see that. So I would guess someone else has been fishing it at some point. I mean, this place doesn't get a load of anglers, you know, but and it doesn't take many, only one person obviously to beat the grass down, you know. So it's not like it's thronged with people, but obviously somebody's been out on it at some point in the last while. So I'll give it a bit of a throw, and then do some more marching along, I think. I'm still getting the mixed showers and the wee breeze as well. It's kind of, you know, it's going to be tricky to cast into it along the far bank, so I'll have to think carefully about where I'm going to be fishing, you know, because I don't think I'll be casting into it somehow, but we'll see. Even getting out across it's fairly tricky, and it doesn't make for very pleasant fishing, you know, if you're flogging into a wind, so I like to make it as easy as possible on myself. So just before tea, a quick cast into this sort of wee bay bit, because obviously I'll not be able to cast into it from the other bank, because that would mean casting into the wind. So I might as well jog along here and give it a quick throw, just in case there's any. There usually is a fish or two in it, you know. But if there is, they're certainly not paying me any attention. A minute, anyhow. And I've got the sort of persistent, like big drops of rain. You couldn't say it's heavy rain, but yet they're quite big drops, so they're quite irritating, you know. Certainly an inconvenience. Oh well, wee doubler of a fish again on, I think it's on John's Secret Super Deadly Fly. It is. It's the second one on it. It's the only thing that's moved fish all day. So there we go. We fish ready to go back. Oh. That's another one on the Super Secret Super Deadly Fly, I think. Yes, indeed. Oh, this one's got very enthusiastic. Right. The rain appears to have stopped for a wee minute again. I don't know if you'll be able to hear any sound, mind you, but because of the mic tucked away, but nonetheless. So that's, what, 3 fish now to the Super Secret Super Deadly Fly. Which is, I don't know, it's certainly been the only thing that's hooked me a fish or moved me a fish today, so it's doing better than I could have hoped, I guess. So I think it's time for tea. That feels like the ideal thing at this time of the day. So I'm taking a wee walk along here to see if there's a few places I can get the fly off. But it's actually turning out to be quite an unpleasant day. And I've just had my cup of tea. But while I was sitting on my cup of tea, I was thinking, it really feels very cold, you know? To be honest, it feels like an October day, you know? One of those days right at the end of the season when you think, I'll just go out anyway. So, not an ideal day. But what I'm going to do is, there's a wee point here. See, I'm going to see if I can get the fly off this, along this bank into the wee bay a bit. I'm not all sure that I can, but I'll give it a punt. We'll see how it goes, and I might just give up after a couple of casts, and if so, I'll keep walking along a bit further. Maybe I'll have to go on the other bank. It's just one of those tricky days when the wind isn't really right for very many places in this loch. But oh, it's cold, you know. So despite the wind and rain and the vegetation snagging up my line and so on, it is actually possible just about to get some line off here. It's not particularly fun packed fishing though, so it may be that I'll not last very long on it, but it's worth a wee experiment. I have this urge to try the super secret new trout fly for the dolphin trout that run up the rivers here from Loch Ness. They're something I've never fished for, although they're almost at my back door. It's not something I have a whole lot of interest in, you know. But I might just, you know, if conditions and so on prove reasonable, I might just go out a day and give the super secret trout fly a throw for them. Again though, it wouldn't be much measure of its performance in view of the fact that, how you put it politely, I don't know what I'm doing, you know, because I simply am not a dolphin angler, you know, and it's, as with any fishing, knowing what you're doing, having some idea, improves the chances of success, and having not the slightest clue, as is the sort of my position, doesn't improve your chances of success. So I don't know what my sign's like, but I may go to, because it's getting quite wet, I may go to my kind of wet weather configuration for my audio, because the Rode mics and whatnot that I use aren't waterproof, and they're getting a fair soaking at the minute, as you can probably imagine. So it may be that I need to make some adjustments to my tactics, you know. I'm sort of keeping my back a bit to the wind, just so that most of the rain's going past them. But as you can probably hear, it's fairly hammering it down now. Right, well, this spot doesn't seem overly successful, so I think it's time to move along and look for another spot, perhaps. On the basis that standing here for much longer doesn't look like it's going to be any more productive than it has been. Oh! This one, I think, is on the Connemara Black. Yes. So this is the first fish of the day, not on the super secret trout fly. And here we come. Oh, hey. And he's been in the weeds and everywhere. Look at that. See? There we see. There we go. Try and undo him from all the weeds and get him back in. There, so. Another wee fish, just about the usual size. See, another wee fish, just about the usual size for here. And we'll just lower him back in. And that's the first one to the Connemara Black for the day. So, I think I'm going to move along a bit. And I might change tactics somewhat in terms of my sound reproduction, in view of the fact that what I have isn't waterproof, and as you can see, getting fairly wet. So, we'll see how that goes as a plan. I'm pretty certain that my audio now is terrible, but I've had to take the media mod off the GoPro. It's the thing that allows me to plug microphones in, because it's not waterproof and the GoPro was starting to crash. It was claiming it had run out of battery even when it had a new battery in it. So I mean, how they can get away with making an action camera that can't record audio when it's wet, basically, I just don't know. But anyhow, they do, and they always have done, you know, and it's just disgraceful. So I don't know what the audio will be like, you know what I mean? But there's nothing I can do about it. Like I say, GoPro make a media mod that allows you to record external audio, and it isn't waterproof. We thought it was a good idea, you know. Especially kind of stupid to come up with that idea. I can't seem to get my own line. Another one on the super secret deadly trout fly. Dear. Oh, hey. So there we go, another wee fish on the super secret deadly trout fly. And away he goes back to his business. Well, you know, the super secret deadly trout flies, it's like doing pretty well for me, considering, you know, that I'm not doing it all well and find the conditions difficult, and also the coldness of the wind. So a few more casts along here, and then I'll think about what I'm going to do for dinner, or if I go further along or turn around or what. Oh, another one. Didn't expect that. That's two on the super secret deadly trout fly, and in a couple of casts. They're not big, but again, they're about the size you get here, so that's what you expect. So there's another fish on the super secret deadly trout fly. And interestingly, when I put my hands into the water to release the fish, the water's warmer than the air temperature, you know, because the weather's been quite mild. So the water's actually warmer than it is out here. Maybe I should get in along with them. Oh, okay. Oh, well, I don't know, I'm tangled every which way. I think that'll do me for this evening. I've given it a good bash in very tricky conditions. I mean, it's great to see a breeze at last, but the wind's so cold. I mean, it's, don't know what temperature it is, but you can see your breath, you know. It's like October temperatures, so that's gotta make the fishing difficult. And actually the water is warmer than the air temperature. If you put your hand in the water, you can feel that the water's actually warm. So it's really quite surreal. But I hope you enjoyed the video, notwithstanding the sort of technical problems, which will mean that quality is going to be somewhat up and down, especially the sound. But hopefully you enjoyed it, and it's certainly been an entertaining day out. And John's super secret deadly trout fly, he says he's absolutely murdering the trout with it, and in view of the conditions today and the fact that it has caught me fish, I think it has done rather well, you know. Because in a situation where the water feels like a warm bath and the air feels absolutely freezing, I think to catch anything maybe is extremely fortunate, you know. So let's move along another step or two. We'll see how we go from here. So that'll do me for another day, and hopefully it won't be too long. I'll be back with another video. Maybe, oh, got a bit of weed. And maybe after talking to John, I'll be in a position to reveal the identity of the super secret and highly deadly trout fly. Let's see if I can get this weed off. Oh, look, see, the super secret fly has even hooked some weed. So that'll do me for today, and I'll see you in the next video.